Let's get into nitty-gritty of influencer marketing, and especially for guys,
I gotta sit up for you, Alex.
At what point should a guy be like, all right, I need to work with a influencer marketing manager?
I would say, ooh, child, I can't cry.
Yeah, don't do it.
It's too soon, Alex.
And what red flags do you say to look for in other agencies?
Oh, wow. That's really good.
Hello and welcome to Hustle Over Everything podcast. This is the podcast where we receive stories, tips, and tactics from entrepreneurs who have done it. I'm Alex, and today we are talking influencer marketing for men specifically. We have Lilly and Beverly in the building.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
We're good. How are you?
Most definitely. I'm great. I'm happy to have you guys on. I've seen you guys kill it on social media for the last little bit, and I'm excited to get your story. Okay. So for one, there's a constant question that comes throughout our podcast. That is, what is your Broughtupsy? You know what that means?
Of course. But elaborate. What are you looking for?
So the Broughtupsy means how you were raised, So I'd love to get you guys each individual story. How you guys were raised.
You go first.
Okay. Sticks and stones.
May break your bones.
So strict African household. Of 2 siblings. Everything was really about academics. Very traditional. And that's what I would say mainly about that. I grew up here, born and raised here. Lived in Calgary. Lived in Calgary. Moved to Sudbury.
From Calgary to Sudbury.
Yeah, I followed my parents.
Wow. Where in Africa are your parents from?
Nigeria.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. So you're the only person eating fufu in Calgary.
I think I was the only person eating fufu for sure. Like, what are you, like? You look different. Oh, yeah. I am. So Sudbury, Hamilton, Brampton. Yeah. So became very multicultural. Omni one.
Okay. No, most definitely. So
I watched it in high school.
You guys went to high school together?
No.
Oh, okay. So did you have a culture shock moment going from Calgary to Sudbury?
No. It looked similar.
It was similar.
It looked similar. And when you're young,
yeah, it kind of
the culture sometimes is like within your home.
Yeah.
It's still the same. The African culture follows you.
Yeah.
What culture shock? You're still
What's
African.
What's it like being black in Calgary? Growing up.
Very much so a minority. Like that minority label stuck, right? Because there wasn't a lot of people that looked like you. For many years, up until even when we moved to Hamilton, I still was the only Black person.
Wow.
Yeah. Everyone has that story where there's like there's 2 Black people. A Black parent shows up. Is that your dad? No. So, yeah. How about you?
Me, I grew up in a little bit of a mixed in neighborhood. So I grew up in Malvern for a good chunk, and I grew up in Oshawa a good chunk.
Oh, wow.
So I got a very diverse Broughtupsy, because in Malvern, it was low income, but it felt like a melting pot of lower income immigrants, so Jamaicans had the biggest brain bleed during the time.
Okay.
Sri Lanka had a huge war, so everybody was immigrating from that war, and that was like the biggest populations in Malvern at the time. Okay. So the people that were there were kind of like just in survival mode, it felt like, So that was that, but then going from Malvern to Oshawa, it was completely different because I ended up going to private school out there.
Okay.
So it was like going from like one drastic area to a completely different one.
Yeah, the demographics would be different. Okay.
So, and that was a blessing because it was a boarding school. So it was like people that were wealthy, people that were it was a different income brackets that were there. So I was blessed to have that. So
was it just all males?
No, it was male and female.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
from what age?
From actually, so it's an interesting question because there's a connector school, so you could go from like grade 1 to 8 and then 8 to 12 or 9 to 12. But I was there from grade 9 to 10. Then I went back to public school. Then graduated there. So I have like a best of both worlds. So from like hood aspects to like posh aspects,
street style and posh.
So you have friends from like all
walks of life.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So I get to travel. When I travel, I kind of like got a lot to pull from, Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, very cool.
This podcast is brought to you by Narai Cellars Wine, one of the only Black-owned wine companies in Canada. So not only are you supporting the show, but you're supporting Black ownership. Now, who is Narai Cellars Wine? They have 10 years of experience in winemaking. So what we're going to do is going to hit the link below and visit naraicellars.ca and try the wine for yourself. Let's get back into the show. How about you?
Oh wow.
Yeah, what's your Broughtupsy?
Who am I?
Who are you?
Yeah, just I guess first and foremost, I wasn't born here. Not that it's a bad thing.
No.
I was born in South Sudan, so I immigrated here when I was about 10. Grew up in a refugee camp actually for 4 years of my life when I was younger. Lost my mom when I was 5.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an interesting upbringing. I think I feel like I had to grow up really quickly. So not only do you lose your parent at that age, but then now you have to learn how to survive with your siblings in a refugee camp without, your parents, and then moving to a new country, and then now adapting to this new culture shock where you haven't seen anybody that, now you're seeing people that you didn't even know existed and don't look like you. So, so we moved to Scarborough. Grew up in Scarborough.
Oh, okay, so Scarborough.
Scarborough to
All right. Where's Scarborough?
Canadian Eglinton.
Canadian Eglinton. Okay, all right.
Scarborough to the
Okay.
I loved it, but it was definitely difficult to kind of adapt to the culture shock, right? It was now everybody, and I didn't speak English. So it was just a lot of learning curves, I would say, for me growing up, adapting to the new culture, adapting to a new language, adapting to new traditions. And it was,
Wow.
that was kind of my upbringing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What was the relationship you had with your older sister during this time?
It was wonderful. I would say, ooh, child, I can't cry.
Yeah, don't do it.
It's too soon, Alex. Actually, my sister is kind of the reason why we're here. She sacrificed her entire life to make sure that we weren't separated when my mom passed away. So she sort of took on that role as our caregiver, moved us here with my uncle as well. And she's really the reason why I'm alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to sis.
I love her more than words can even express, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now, how does that impact you guys as parents? I want to get you first, and then we get into the influencer marketing as we get to know you.
Wow. I think for myself, I feel so privileged. I feel so honored to be able to provide my son Felix with what I never thought I was able to even accomplish or achieve in life. Again, because I've always been in a survival mode, right? I had to work hard to stay alive. I had to work hard to come here. I had to work. So all of that is, to me, is an honor and a privilege so that he can have a life that he's supposed to have. So that's how I kind of see it for myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Not for real, though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And how about you?
I think I have a lot of respect for the discipline we were raised with because I understood it retroactively. And how does it impact? I'm literally repeating history. I'm that parent, all those values that I thought were super messy back then. It's like, they're important. Right. So I'm,
she's an amazing mom. I feel like she raises me.
I raise her. It's my offspring.
It's true.
It's my dependent. I feel like I should claim her on my taxes.
She manages my life. And
I really do. It's funny. We always joke about this because I manage her personal life. So I'm like, have you done this? Have you done this? And I'll drag her. And for work, she drags me. Have you responded to this email, Lilly? It just came in a minute ago. It's okay. I've responded. So I micromanage her personal life. She micromanages Sir and Lex. So
what was the most personal thing that you managed that made you feel like, whoa, why am I telling you this?
What's the most personal thing I managed?
Yeah, for her.
Like for her?
Mhm.
Let me think.
Did you do your laundry?
You have no idea. Like I will call her and remind her, and she's good, but I'll still, hey, just an FYI, tomorrow's a PA day.
It's so true.
There's no school tomorrow, and I'll call in the morning. There's no school.
Actually, she did that today.
Yeah.
Next
I'll do
Friday is a PA day. I was like, marked.
It's like small, like
Got
Yeah.
you.
it's odd.
So what was the first creator you really loved and took you away from the current situation you were going through?
The first creator?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
You weren't really into creators though when you started. You should.
No.
Yeah, she
Actually.
wasn't inspired by creators when she started.
I was inspired by being a mom. So I could, yeah.
Interesting.
I was at the time I was a stay-at-home mom,
Mhm.
and I kind of wanted to connect with other moms, and I was sharing kind of my journey about being this new mom. I was also young, so I'm like, ooh, like he's so cute. We look so cute together.
Let's post this selfie.
Let's put these selfies up. But that's that I kind of fell into content creating. It wasn't even something that I ever imagined that I would do. I actually thought I'd be either in New York City being a supermodel or a photographer.
You still can.
For sure.
Position open. In case you want
His
to
nails
switch.
are really nice. I don't think he wants to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what was the first brand that you guys got? And actually before that, we should get into Deal or No Deal, shall we?
Ooh.
You had a good one. I'm excited for this one.
Ooh.
So
Why am I nervous?
You're always nervous.
I'm always nervous because I need to
She's
know
a
what's
Libra,
going on.
so
you
Me,
guys
I'll
fully
keep
know what the Deal or No Deal is.
Oh,
Like,
wow, Libra.
You guys are good actors.
Oh, are you a
Libra
Libra?
too.
All right,
I'm a Cancer. Can y'all tell?
Yes. You know what? My girl's a Cancer. And now I'm like
See?
understanding
We're so fun.
the difference.
We're great people.
All right. So here's the question. I'd love to get you guys' feedback from a
Okay.
creator. Hi, Alex. Love the show. I got an offer from a big tech company, and they're offering free products, Google Pixel, home subscriptions, Chromebooks, for a year, and they would be featured on their page. Sorry, and they featured me on their page, and marketing material for a year. Now, here's my socials. I have 10,000 plus followers. I have an engagement rate of about 5%. On TikTok, I have 250K followers. And the value of all these products is about $6,000. This would, I guess, help them raise their stature, I guess. But at the same time, ain't no paper.
Ain't no
money.
paper. You saw I rolled up my sleeves real quick.
Deal or no deal?
Should we whisper?
Yeah, I think we should whisper. You know,
Just give us a couple seconds. If you don't
Okay.
mind.
please, let's think about this.
Yeah.
Should we call somebody?
I think we should call somebody. Who should we call? I'll come on. Okay, cool. So Alex, we think this is not a deal. You need to push back. Only because now our reasoning to that is your engagement rate is insane. You have an incredible amount of followers that are on your socials, 10K on Instagram and 215 or something like that on
250 on TikTok. Engagement
200.
rate on Instagram is 5%. Is that the person
And
said.
you're telling me that you want to give me 6K for just products, and you also want to use my face and my content on your social. You're good. That's double dipping, and you don't want to give me just. You should be giving me money.
Yep.
So no deal.
No deal.
How much money would you request
Oh,
for that situation?
that's a very good question.
much
With
money
that
would you
situation, I mean, for somebody that has that amount of following on TikTok, I would probably try and get Google to do something on their TikTok, because I'm sure with an engagement rate of 5% on Instagram, I can only imagine what their engagement rate is on TikTok. So they could probably people are getting 20K for just a post on TikTok. So Yeah, no, they have a huge reach.
20K.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's happening.
He or she could ask for 20K.
Damn.
Yeah. And here's
Okay.
the thing: if you're
Plus
engaged,
Plus the product.
Plus
or
product.
exactly, or if this was a brand that they really really love and they obviously want to build a relationship, they could negotiate obviously working with them and in a, but not also promise or over promise that, hey, okay, I'm gonna create this and I'm gonna create this for you to use on your social. But maybe you'd be like, you know what, let me feel out the product and see how much I like it. Maybe I'll share it on my stories. You have access to my audience still, right, that way. And build that relationship, especially if you don't have big brands.
Yeah, because sometimes it births other opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't always come into your exact figures or your desire for figures. You've taken on stuff before where it's like, ooh, you've taken on free stuff, right? But it's turned into long-term relationships later that were super lucrative.
Exactly.
Right? So
yeah,
bit of gambling sometimes.
So either or, it can go really either or.
All right, so I have one last deal or no deal for you. Ready?
Uh-oh.
So you reach out to a brand. This one was a little bit more hypothetical. This was not someone that wrote in. And they want to collab with you. You have a call. And they're like, yes, we'd love to collab with you. And you have your own thing coming up. Yeah, we'd love to exchange promotion as well. We have our own things coming up. You get to the email section. And all of a sudden they say, instead of you being an influencer, we'd actually like to maintain exchange of promotion where you promote on ours and I promote on yours. Deal or no deal?
What do you think?
It depends on how much you value, I guess, their product as well, right? It can't, I guess it's not black and white because depending on the brand, it might be a deal for you if it's something you value, but if it's not, then it wouldn't be worth it to you.
And also, to add to what Bev said, is that an audience that you're looking to reach? So is that somebody that, you know, if you want to bring that audience onto your platform, then yeah, that it could be a good way to exchange audiences.
So could be a deal, actually.
It could be a deal.
But the first one is absolutely no deal.
Absolutely not. They're asking for you to just no. Sometimes you also have to understand your worth. You know, it's so important to understand your worth. Sometimes brands like to push it and see what they can get more of by giving you less. And that's like 5% engagement rate. Not many creators have that, even with a high following count on Instagram. That's impressive.
So you just said understand your worth. What are some of the line items of worth? Because everyone says understand your worth, but let's go a little deeper than that. Yeah,
you
what?
Love this.
People scream, my worth.
My worth.
Yeah.
Your work ethic, consistency. We've seen creators that have quite a high following. How you got the following sometimes is different as to why you're maintaining it. Sometimes you're not even active followers. Maybe there are people that forgot to unfollow. But like consistency, like how much work you're putting into your craft.
Yeah. And understanding the worth of that craft. Yeah.
Right. So if you're a male, for example, that wants to specialize like in skincare, what are you putting out like with your get ready with me, your routines? Are you talking about products? Are you like, do you know what I mean? Is it consistent or is it 1 week I felt really, really good? You know what I mean? And then like you didn't hear from me for 2 months and I'm like, I know my worth. We don't, you know what I mean? So it really depends. Like that's why we don't really go by numbers.
No, I think we go by personalities and people, because sometimes your audience actually will tell us if your worth is worth it for us.
Yeah.
Right? Because your audience and your community they speak for you. We have creators that their audiences speak for him. He doesn't have to say nothing. They back him up with everything he does. that's why brands are consistent
a
with
real
giving
community.
him work. Yeah, because people believe in his craft.
Yep.
So you have to understand your worth when it comes to that, because no matter what you put out, I always say we can smell fake. Like, you can really smell fake, especially as a creator. Like, are you really passionate about it, or are you actually just doing it because you want to get paid? That's all a part of.
And then even sometimes the brands you work with, and even repetitiveness of it, like if the brands really like you, they'll come back. You know what I mean? They'll want to work with you. If they don't have budget, they'll want to give you stuff. But it's still like a continuous relationship. Like, all those things go into worth, right? Not just positive self-projection.
I think there's a lot of that in influencer marketing, and it's in the influencer industry. You gotta know your worth. You gotta stand on it. You know, charge your price plus tax. You know, which
yesterday's
good.
prices are not today. Yeah,
know your worth is, like you said, quality too, right? It's not one way. It's not what you think you're worth. It's also what you're showcasing that's worthy of a brand wanting to give you more for it too.
And growth, investment. You know, we have a creator who's growing pretty well.
Oh my gosh.
And he doesn't play with his for example, his photography.
Never.
Like, even on stuff that's gifted, it's like when he posts, it's going to be a whole production.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And his followers see it. The brand is happy. He's happy because he loves, certain brands, and he'll push, right, for them to be seen. So yeah, if that answers that.
So it's interesting because now with TikTok and the way Instagram and the whole influencer marketing industry is going is super authenticity, right? So that photographer now is not even the photographer. I won't even say him. I say a lot of creators are being pushed to be super authentic. Show your place messy. Show all types of authentic vibes. Does that not take away from worth because you're now just throwing the camera up and taking selfie content?
Does it take away from work?
Yeah, because before it used to be you need to have the camera with 3-point lighting to make sure the back is lit and the front's lit and XYZ and XYZ. But now it's optiming for super authentic, right? And I actually have an answer for this as a marketer, but I'm curious to get your opinion too.
I don't think so, because so have you followed any of her coffee art?
A little bit. I did my little research.
Do you think it's good?
Yes.
Are you?
I'm ready to end this. Authentic. Are we being authentic right now with each other?
Do you know why I think it's authentic? Because this is your own expression.
Are we being authentic with each other?
I think she's wondering if you think my coffee art is actually.
Do you think it's bad?
Oh, it's awful.
Come on.
I'm still trying.
Let me take another look.
Yeah,
at it.
can we pause?
Yeah.
Let me take another look.
You're frozen. Why?
That's the coffee art?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm wrong. Yeah. I thought I saw something else on your page.
Yeah.
I'm completely wrong.
So sorry,
this is not it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the coffee art before we? Or you just want to move on?
I'm so sorry. I would feel comfortable.
Yo, what is this?
Oh, Alex,
That's what I'm saying.
you said my coffee art was like good, right?
I thought I saw art on your page.
That is so.
That's okay.
I am wrong. You know what I thought it was? Hold up. Let me see if I can
You're
find what I thought.
probably thinking about my commercial work.
I thought I saw art in your house.
Oh.
That was a coffee art.
Like
as
that
in
you're
like,
professional, how you bounce back from that.
Pardon me?
You're a professional. I like that.
Yeah, you see how he's
a professional.
He's very.
He's a professional.
What you mean?
So okay, so now I can answer because I was not going to move on from you saying that it was fantastic
because it was not. It was not.
Wow.
We're gonna have to do a part 2 tomorrow. Right?
Yes,
so,
I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So the brand that she works with, like that is like she posts that stuff daily. She loves that brand of coffee.
I love that brand of
and that's
coffee.
her coffee art that she puts. It's actually not a joke.
Okay.
That is being authentic.
You don't have to go into hard on me. Okay.
You know what I mean? So, but that is not a joke, but it's not clean.
Oh dear.
You want to compare it to a messy place.
So Alex, it's
but there's tons of engagement. Like it's real and like we all enjoy it. I love it. She loves doing it. People love watching it and it's authentic. That's authentic. Like it's fun. Like I've ordered her stencils. People have sent her. We all send her memes of like funny coffee art.
Even that coffee team sends me memes asking. They're like, here you go. Maybe this might help with the next one. And
So,
we just laugh about it in the DMs. And
it literally is fun.
It's
but
wonderful.
Like not everything has to be perfect, but it's real and it's relatable, right? And it's memorable. So,
but going back to that question again, if you don't mind repeating it, I wanted to add to
the authenticity.
Authenticity. So, it is the question was focused on the lowering of authenticity to be authentic on, not even authenticity, the lowering of quality of post on social media, Instagram, TikTok, to be more authentic in your presence to the audience, lowering your validity to brands and to people that could pay you, because your quality of content is going down for authenticity to go up. But in order to talk to the brand, it might be like a bad first impression.
Is that a lowering of quality though?
I feel like there's a fine balance, like, because you can still be authentic and share your daily vlogs or who you really are, and still be able to tap into a brand and providing them with quality. I think a lot of the times, I think the best people that actually do it is they're able to tap into just being themselves. And also providing good quality when it comes to their work. Because a lot of people don't really look at social media, Instagram or TikTok as a job. Especially a lot of maybe creators that have just come into the game during the pandemic, because obviously there was nothing to do. Everybody was on TikTok, everyone was growing. So it's like, oh, this is really fun. Let me just get on and da-da-da. But the ones that have been around or are around, they have tapped into the kind of the secret recipe, and that's having quality of content, but also being authentic to who you are and using your phone for those, restaurant get-togethers with your friends and taking a photo of your food and, those silly selfies, building that into your portfolio and your grid, and it still looks like you can relate to the everyday person, but then also give a brand what they want when it comes to quality of content. So it's a really fine balance.
Yeah, and it kind of shows versatility.
Exactly.
Got you. Now let's get into nitty-gritty of influencer marketing, and especially for guys.
I gotta sit up for you, Alex.
At what point should a guy be like, all right, I need to work with a influencer marketing manager?
You want to take it away?
At what point?
At what point? So, because you said your following doesn't really matter. So if I have 700 followers, but the engagement rate's high, I can be like, yo, I need a manager to manage this. Or you're like, come on, son. Get it together, get it up.
It also depends on what you're looking for and what you've achieved on your own. There are people that work independently and they do really well. They were able to acquire relationships with brands and long-term relationships with them that are not managed. We know a few people, men and women. But if we even look at it from the perspective of what we look for, someone that's already established a bit of brand relationships on their own that want to grow and reach more brands, I would say.
Someone that also understands the lingo. Like I mean, my background is obviously I did content creating for many, many years. And prior to even signing with an agency, I wanted to understand the game. I feel like it's so important to kind of execute your profession before you outsource. And I feel like even with content creating, I wanted to learn and perfect how to read a contract, how to understand a brief, how to, what are these little lingos before I gave away that percentage to an agency. And at the time, I remember having the conversation with Bev and I'm like, God, they're about to take that percentage from me. But at the same time, it made sense during that time in my life. So,
and on top of it, some people don't know how to negotiate either.
Their rates.
So that's what an agency is also there for.
Mm-hmm.
Constant pitching you,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a lot of work to pitch.
Mm-hmm. Putting you in the right rooms, helping you kind of navigate what your niche is, getting you with the right people. I think a lot of the times it's honestly bigger than the amount that maybe a lot of people think that, oh, this agency is going to take from me. And to be honest with us, we don't even consider taking on people until they know who they are. We don't just take on, and a lot of agencies just love to take on creators and build out a roster and build out a roster. And for us, we're like,
we still want to be super niche.
Very niche.
Right? So
yeah.
It smells a hint of shade in that.
We don't do that.
Who said that? Shading?
Who said that?
I don't know.
Can an influencer work with multiple clients, like multiple agents?
They shouldn't. It depends. You know what? It depends.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have an agency that's for just like your social media, things that just live on your social media, that's a bit different. But then let's say you model on the side too.
Or
you
you're
have an
an
agency
athlete.
or an athlete. Do you know what I mean? Because that's kind of out of scope right now for us. Then yeah, you would, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it's for what we're doing, it's overlapping. And then, but you really shouldn't, because it becomes complicated.
Yeah, and most agencies, like not many influencer management agencies, do not take on another obviously they don't take another roster on, but sometimes they will collaborate. Yeah. So let's say we don't have a creator on our roster that is good for a brand that has come forward to work with us,
or just doesn't match their what they're
looking for.
Yeah, maybe like our creator that's not really up their alley.
Then we'll reach out to another agency and say, hey,
we have this if someone else is interested.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys usually, from my understanding, the usual agency workflow is brand comes with big budget. Let's say, a matter of fact, I'll tell the story in a second, but brand comes with a big budget, let's say $1 million, and says, hey, we have a big bag, we need creators, we want to bulk buy. Agency, take this, go find creators and come back with your projected campaign and expectations and things of that nature. Is that the usual flow of the agency, or is it more so you are going out and pitching, getting a few brands to come in? Is it, all right, I have 2 brands that needs a smaller budget, let's say it's 50, 60K, and I have to divvy that up into different creators. What's the usual workflow that you find?
It's both. It's both. We have that happening actively right now. So it's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's both.
Okay. Yeah.
And then sometimes brands will just want to work with a specific creator.
Yeah, they already have their campaign ready. They already have their budgets for that particular campaign, and it might be a one-off, or they might come back the next queue to work with the same creator.
So then when that budget comes down, does it make sense for a creator to ask what the budget is? Because then it kind of doesn't make sense, because you have a huge budget to divvy up between creators. So as a creator, should I be asking, what's your budget? Or should I be like, how do we work together here?
It's what your numbers are. What's your rate? And whether or not, right? Is that what you're asking? That's what you're asking? Because it's...
Are you asking for if the influencer should ask what a brand's budget is for that particular campaign, or asking us as an agency?
Yeah, more so asking you as the agency, because
Got it.
One of the things you're always told is before, it's always who asks for the budget first, right? Who asks for the rate for the budget first? So, and whoever does that loses in the echelon of thinking, you know? So that's kind of the question, is because it would be more challenging to answer that if you were going off the client budget that's high, right?
Because sometimes you don't know the client budget though, right? Like our creators have their rates based off of their worth, right? That's established. And that's what we put forward, right? So sometimes even the available budget is not really what we're worried about. Do you know what I mean? Because like your budget might be too low for what we're asking anyways. Like, so that's not really, I guess the focus, like how much money do you have? This is how much this costs for this. Can you meet it? And sometimes it's been like, we've had a couple times where it's been exceeded even, right? And of course, sometimes they'll come back lower depending on what budget they have. We don't have the budget for this. And then we'll just negotiate what the creator can maybe take off. Right? So does that answer that?
A little bit, yeah. I think it answers that. Yeah, it definitely gives clarity a little bit.
Because you said you had a story.
Yeah, I did have a story a bit. So we were working with this tech brand, and they actually sent the wrong email to us. And they sent the email. So actually, we weren't working with tech brand, we were working with the agency. And the agency got the budget from the brand because the brand suggested us to the agency.
Okay.
So because of around that CC, they forgot to take us off and sent the whole budget to us. So you saw the whole budget and we're like, what?
We'll take it. Start the car.
Start the car. Yeah. Love that commercial. So we noticed that, and that was an eye-opening moment for sure. And then we're like, so what's the budget here? So let's talk, you know. But then obviously that wasn't what we were supposed to be getting because that's the overall campaign budget, right?
And really it does depend on, a lot of the times it depends on the type of content as well, right? Because production for influencing content creators, when it comes to like a reel or stories, their budgets, a lot of the times brands have a smaller budget and to work with. But with the agency, they usually provide us with what they've usually worked with. They've come together with the amount of influencers that they want to work with, and they may have acquire an influencer from our agency and may acquire an influencer from another agency and then another agency. And it's like, okay, they keep it in-house for their budget and not necessarily provide it to an agency. And then there are some brands where they actually do acquire an agency and provide them with a budget and say, okay, this is what we want for Q2. Can you outsource these amount of creators for this particular campaign? But a lot of the times it's just the brand having that budget and then just acquiring for you. We want Alex for this campaign. These are the deliverables. Can he meet this budget? And we'll negotiate it and say, yeah, it does. Or like she said, can we take something off? Or
because the PR will know, right? The budget, right? So let's say the PR for that brand, and then they come to us with whatever campaign. They're not going to give us what the budget is. Right? And that's what I mean about like presenting what our creators' rates are. Trying to meet their budget.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you got to try to just match it and see, this is what you got, this is what I can give you.
Exactly.
And also analytics and stats and all of that goes into it too. But we always aim for more.
For sure. Speaking of analytics and stats, I think one thing that's interesting as a creator is the spikes that you get. So you can drop a photo, drop a picture, drop something, and you get a spike in engagement, a spike in something goes viral. How do you quantify that to a brand? Because a brand could see that and say, oh, that's a flash in the pan, I'm not giving you more. Or you could try to argue that it is more, but then you might not be able to return on that, and that could hurt the relationship. Right? Because I've had that where some of my content has a spike and they're like, time to pitch. Let's go get this, you know? But at the same time, you know that behind the scenes that this isn't your true number.
Especially nowadays. There's not that many, especially on Instagram, not many people go viral, right? Like when I started, it was so easy. It was like snap of a finger. Your image is now got like thousands and thousands of likes. Now it's like you're lucky if you get like 200 likes. But I would say that when it comes to using that as an opportunity to leverage like a brand in your budget, brands can see it. I mean, they're going to look through all of your work, right? If it's just that one post that had gone just viral, and everything else has been very consistent, they're probably not going to leverage the content that had just gone viral. They're going to look at the overall performance of your account as well.
Okay. All right. So,
but it's good though. You better pitch.
listen.
Or the other thing I would say with that too is kind of see what you did right with that particular content and repeat it. Right? You repeat whatever it is that you did. Like we have a creator that went viral and he kind of figured out the recipe for himself and repeated it. And it just, everything after that just kept going viral.
Yes,
and
it was
viral.
consistent.
He has
the outcome
dipped into his secret. Yeah.
That's
you want to know the
interesting.
secret? I can tell.
Oh, for sure. You got to talk off mic. I want to know what that secret is. For sure.
We'll send him to you.
All right, dope. Speaking of, all right, one thing I'm curious to get your opinion on is this whole ebook craze. You know, everybody has a stand store without the stands, and they're selling a digital product on digital products. You know, and I think it's starting to become a stench around digital products, especially courses. People just, I feel like, did I touch a nerve?
No. We had talked about it. I'll let you, but yeah, we had talked about this.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah.
how does that, affect the relationship with brands and working with different partners? Because I feel like at times, especially with courses, it can come off the wrong way, or it could also help the creator. I'd love to get your guys' opinion.
Oh, you want me to touch on it first? Sure. I feel like the best way for you to learn is to study your competition, and I say that lightly, but really studying your inspirations and who you're following and who you want to be like. But when it comes to ebooks and when it comes to these online courses, especially when it comes to like people telling you what you need to do to go viral, or when you need to post to go viral, a lot of it is not, I don't want to say it's not true, but it's not as simple as that, right? And I think you have to look into people that are, I don't want to say people that have been in the game for a long time, but at the same time, I feel like, especially if you haven't been in the game for a long time and then you have this ebook out immediately because you've gone viral like this year, you may have some pointers, but not necessarily.
It's not sustainable. Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have sustainability. That's what it is. But at the same time, I think it's good to study what you want to be good at.
Yeah.
Right? Or what your interest is. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. Right?
Yeah.
Like we love marketing stuff, so we do take courses. But I think when it comes to influencing and content creating, that's such a, it's so broad, and I feel like it just, you either understand it as a person, or you just, regardless of what sort of courses you take, you may not even get it. Right? It's like a talent show, really, if you think about it.
No matter how many singing lessons I take,
exactly.
it's never gonna happen.
You're not gonna get that Grammy, like, you know what I mean?
No, it's too far.
Sorry.
Like, no.
No matter how many art lessons, it doesn't get to the coffee.
Yeah.
Now, you just mentioned influencing and content creating. Is there a difference there, in your opinion?
Depends who you ask.
Yeah, it definitely depends on who you ask. Influencing content creator it's pretty much the same thing, but I find in Canada, that when you say you're an influencer, they don't take you seriously. They're like, influencer, great, you probably take selfies all the time. Whereas a content creator, just, I don't know, it just has a cool flow to it, and I find that it sounds a bit more professional in my opinion. I personally like to be called a part-time latte art creator.
Oh God. Oh God.
Most definitely. That's funny. What do you wish more content creators knew when it comes to working with brands and building up their business?
What do we wish more content creators knew when it comes to working with brands? Or if it may be understood? Is that like, reading contracts properly, like in its entirety, understanding your brief, understanding the importance of meeting the deliverables.
Oh yeah.
That's huge, you know?
Yeah.
So
And by deliverables, literally your content coming into their inboxes on that
timely,
time.
you know? Them not sending follow-ups for this, or you were supposed to not use this music, or do you know what I mean? Just reading it, right?
Yeah.
I think sometimes people think that all contracts are the same, so they don't read through it, and you'll get yourself in trouble. So, which is part of being professional, right?
And it's a job.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a job, right? Like how you clock in at work.
Yep.
You got to clock in as a creator, and you have to take it seriously. Some people have it as a, on the part-time side, but these brands are providing you with their money. You got to treat it like it's a job. So yeah, and yeah.
Why did you guys go into the male niche? What made you guys choose that?
I giggle at everything.
It's all good.
She's the smiley one.
I can tell.
You
Yeah.
tell? So what am I?
You're the. I feel
Okay.
like the type A and type.
You've hit the yeah.
Why does she have to be A first?
No typing.
Oh, type A. Okay, my apologies.
Yeah, he's right. I'm like, try not to smile with my eyes so much. Is that softer?
A little bit. I got you.
Okay, so what made us go into male? Well, first of all, we've always wanted to work together. We've worked on a few projects even prior to launching last year, and there just wasn't enough representation for men.
Yeah.
But the need was there. Like, you guys care about the exact same things women do.
Very nice nails.
We just talked about good,
Shout out
good
Isaac.
hands.
Isaac with the nails.
Isaac with the nails.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the first
So
thing I
important.
noticed.
First thing she knows.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna get my manicure now, bro.
You know
I think
what I
You feel, you're
all right,
feeling
listen up.
upset?
Yo, Isaac, let's make a deal.
Let's hear this.
I'll get a manicure if you do one session of therapy.
Oh my God, this one.
Oh,
You gonna pay for the manicure?
Oh,
I think. Do you
I
know how
think
much
that's
therapy is?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's it's kind of a bit. It's a bit uneven. It's a little bit uneven.
You need many manicures.
How about I'll
Maybe
put
half?
Hmm?
half of therapy.
Yeah, half of therapy.
So I think we're half the manicure.
You are.
Bruh, negotiating is quick. Come on, fam. You
It's
know
very good. We need him on the team.
exactly.
We need you on the team.
What do you say,
Master
bro?
Negotiator. Here.
That's a little bit. That's not an even deal.
What?
Okay, does it have to be a licensed therapist? Is what I would. You want licensed or
Go
unlicensed?
to a licensed therapist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm an unlicensed therapist. If you ever want to.
Oh, she's wonderful. She manages my entire life. So
Everybody's.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, she's great. I'll give you a free session.
free session,
She's
free
You'll
99.
wonderful.
give him a free session that I'm like, what?
What?
You're volunteering. Okay.
Yeah.
I negotiate.
That
That
could work.
doesn't mean you have to come to work. That's,
Okay.
You know what I'm
Right?
saying?
So
So you get the free session and then I get the paid manicure.
We'll talk about
We'll
it.
talk about
But,
it.
like,
What's you got for
it's true though. Like even like something like mental health,
Yeah.
skincare,
Mm-hmm.
fashion, lifestyle, fitness.
Yeah.
How is like women like it, men like it?
Absolutely.
Why is it hard to find men?
Mm-hmm.
And there's just this assumption that as men, you're supposed to just stand next to your woman and look good for the camera.
Or just look dirty and nobody cares. Like don't even don't wash your face, don't brush your teeth. Like nobody
No.
cares, but you care.
For sure.
And also they're
He just said he like dipped himself in cocoa butter. Like, who
The-
cares?
it was shea
exposing
moisture
it.
actually.
sorry.
Damn. No, not shea moisture, shea butter.
Oh, sorry, shea butter. Oops, that's
But shout out shea
awkward.
moisture though. I have a few shea moisture products.
Absolutely.
You know
Shout
what
out
I'm
to
saying?
shea moisture.
Yeah,
I like
most
the shea
definitely.
moisture.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
also, yeah, like I think with when it comes to with the brands, I think a lot of them also, and not on purpose, but I think when I even went into the game, I found that there was difficulties finding diversity and inclusion and in the game, right? I was probably the very few dark skinned content creators when I came in, and now we're everywhere and we're being celebrated and we're just killing it. And when it comes to the men, we would walk into these spaces where we're talking about skincare, or we're talking about athletic wear, and I could count 2 to 3 males that are creators, but there's so many in Toronto that are so talented, and we just sort of want to change that.
Yeah.
And that's really what made us tap into it, to help these brands have access to creators, because we're the only male in content creator agency, I would probably say, in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a fun challenge too, right? To do something
Exactly.
new, you know?
Yeah.
Now, are you finding that it's a low supply of men, or is it that there's just brands that aren't looking for it, um, or is it not many guys are going into the content creation?
I would say that brands want you to make their jobs easy.
Got you.
So in order for a brand to be satisfied and make their job easy, we're just going to find what you want and what you need. And a lot of brands actually need males. They just don't want to.
Go
They may
searching
not
for-
have the time, to be completely honest with you, looking and outsourcing. That is like that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So now we have it in a silver platter. You need this male, you need this one, you want him to specialize in this. Oh, we don't even have it. We can find it for you. Whether it's in Canada or in the US, we have it.
We got you.
We got you.
Most time. All right.
When a brand's happy, we're happy.
Working towards wrapping up. When it comes to the guys that are pitching for themselves, what suggestions do you have for them, and what red flags do you say to look for in other agencies?
Oh,
Ooh.
wow. That's really good.
Other agencies? I don't know.
Wow. Red flagged with other agencies.
That's hard because
That's
we
hard
have good relationships with.
And they're all really good.
Yes, they're good
Real-
at what they're good.
Yeah.
Honestly, so this is it. Like, I see you scratching your head and wanting to like cancel this whole. So every agency has their niche with what they're good at.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's like working for any other company, right? Like, there might be something that, okay, this is really awkward.
I know Alex is shaking his head.
No. I'm listening. I'm deeping the conversation.
Your eyes are getting big, and you're, you know,
This is the Libra.
So the reason why I started to like
She's laughing.
I was pondering on it. I was like, I hear a lot of agency horror stories, So
But isn't that with any even if you have you ever worked for a company before?
of course,
And when you left, weren't you like, burn in hell? But someone else is interviewing and saying, I love it. This is
Burn
like,
in
and wearing
hell.
like their button. And so like, it really depends, right? Based off of what? Like, are you hearing horror stories because you as a content creator also didn't fulfill some of the requirements? So maybe they stopped advancing you work? You know what I mean? Because maybe you were like making that agency look bad or not representing them properly. Like, what's the, you know what I mean?
I can break it down.
Like,
I can
oh,
break it down.
gosh.
Yes,
So
we love this.
I think the challenge that happens a lot of times is the exclusivity. Say,
Got
all
it.
right, I'm signing to this agency, and they now have exclusivity over the deal flow that I get. So I start getting deals. Let's say I am a male track creator, right?
Okay.
I just do all my runs, and that gets a ton of traffic. And now I start getting Nike, Running Room coming to me direct. And I'm moving them to the agency,
Yes.
even though the agency hasn't gone out and pitched Nike and Running
Yes.
Room.
Okay.
And that deal doesn't go through. So now I'm like,
It doesn't go through.
wagwan. Exactly. The deal flops.
Okay.
Let's say the agency could be arguing or not arguing, but fighting for the deal for you, but somehow it doesn't go through. And the creator now is getting multiple deals come through direct, and it's outpacing the direct from the agency. So now it starts to become a lopsided of leverage because the person from the creator side is getting more deals.
That's different, though. That's very specific, and that you can hop on after.
Yeah,
But,
of course.
that's not valuable to that person anymore.
Exactly. I
because
was
the
gonna
thing is
say
it's
that
not,
too.
do you know what I mean? That's not valuable. Because joining an agency, you're supposed to increase. even with the stuff or the brands that you're already working with, even renegotiating, you know what I mean? Like still, it should be more. If you bring a brand to me that you're already working with, I should be able to increase what you were asking for. So you see the value of you even bringing that to me. But if the volume of work is increasing on your end and I'm not able to properly supplement, do you know what I mean? Then that's not of value.
And I'll be honest, I think, like, touching on what she said is, I think what I love about us is it's so different. There's a lot of creativity to it. How do we obtain these brands and how do we keep them? How do we kind of push you further as a creator? What can we get you onto? Where can we pivot with this particular brand? If it's Nike, right? What else could we do with Nike? How could we obtain them for multiple years, not just a one-off, right? So if that conversation goes left, what did the agent do?
What happened?
What happened?
So, that's a very good question. What happened?
A very good question. But I think also a lot of the times, I think the fear is all agencies operate the same, right? We're all, hard on just it's our way or the highway. No, how can we collaborate together? This is your bread and butter. But if you don't get paid, we don't get paid, right? So we're not trying to lose a deal. We're going to try and figure out how we can, make sure this deal is closed and we get something on top of it afterwards.
It's hard to say though, because it's like maybe like any organization, maybe there's something going on with structure. Like, you know what I mean? That's hard.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But all
we don't speak
aren't
badly on other agencies.
No, it's exactly. It's a structure of the agency too. But red flags to look for. I find when it comes to agencies, a lot of them have the same sort of percentage, or like they take their percentage of what comes in and what doesn't come in. It's better to sign with an agency or maybe do a trial, right? Do they have a trial? Is it 60 days? Is it 90 days? Is it a year? What is it? And see the flow of it. Does it match with you? And if it doesn't match with you, maybe ask for another agent within the agency. Another
someone
manager.
Else to manage you.
See if manager.
Because that might be it. Like that might be it. It might be I like the agency, but me and this manager don't really see eye to eye. They don't see my vision. They don't see. Do you know what I mean? It could be something as simple as that. Like,
right?
You ever loved a company you worked for, but you didn't like who you reported to? Right? It could be.
That
right?
Could change the game.
It really depends, right?
But yeah, as a mail creator, I think really the most important thing is understand, like, know your craft. What is it that you really want to tap into? What are you trying to put out there for your audience? Before you go and visit an agency, be comfortable with, your briefs, how to read a contract. It's so important. And see if the percentage really makes sense with what you're making right now. So if you're making 10K and they're going to take whatever percentage from that, is it really ideal for you to go with an agency? And sometimes it doesn't make sense. So if it doesn't make sense, also don't move with the crowd, right? Just because your friends are with an agency does not mean, okay, maybe this is better because they're getting work right now. I should go with the agency because agencies also have, months that you don't get work. So just be mindful of the reasons as to why you want to sign with an agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a trial is really good.
A trial is very good.
Trial is really good. Okay.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Ooh, so we're Sir and Lex. That's SIRANDLEX. And that's our male influencer agency. And I'm Lilly Yange, LILYYANGE. Sometimes I forget how to spell my own name.
Because you can't decide if you want to go with Lillian or Lily. That's the issue.
That's my government name. You didn't have to tell them about my government name.
I think they'd figure it out.
Most definitely.
And this is
Beverly Fala. So
Beverly No Chill.
Okay. My Instagram, I have no chill whatsoever. I'm working on my chill this year.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you can control. So control your grind and control your life. I'm Alex.
I'm Bev.
And Lily.
That's the show, y'all. Peace.